We're calling it the Disney Triple Threat, and we bet you haven't heard a thing about this, what's coming in 2025, and could perhaps make Bob Iger and all the rest of his sycophants look scant when it comes to success. Today we'll tell you why the Disney company is staring down the barrel of a very big mess that could leave the company in major distress. Hello, folks, and welcome back. We are here to, get through the narratives, the corporate media messaging, especially when it has to do with the pixie dusters, the cupcakers, and, of course, the slap-happy Disney religious cultists who never think that the House of Mouse can make a single mistake. Today, we're going to defer on the special cupcakes, Disney. We don't need them. We're going to tell you instead what's really going on and why 2025 could be the year when Bob Iger finally is revealed to the masses as someone who really messed up the world that Mickey built. First up, folks, let's go over and venture to the, there are three legs to this, three legs. CBR has the first one, and it says 10 most exciting Disney Plus series releasing in 2025. So Disney Plus is our first bust of the year. Take a look at this. It's by Jordan Iakabuki. I hope I got that right. I doubt I did. And here are the lists, okay? Everybody, let's watch and see how we think Disney Plus is going to do. Ironheart. Oh, boy. We've got Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man that we just reviewed and gave like a 5 point something last night on the channel.
5.0.
Yeah. We've got Win or Lose that they had to scrub out the alphabet agenda from that one. Win or Lose. Again, these are the big ones. This is what CBR says. These are going to be the big shows on Disney Plus this year. Marvel Zombies. It's not going to track. We haven't done a show yet that's going to appear on any Nielsen chart or Luminate or any, like none of this is going to appear anywhere. It's not going to chart whatsoever. Star Wars Visions, Volume 3. The first two didn't chart. This one won't either. Eyes of Wakanda. Chances it charts, 0. It's an animated thing, not going to chart. Wonder Man. Yeah, that's not going to chart.
Yikes.
Yep. Percy Jackson. That might actually get on a chart somewhere, some way. And Percy Jackson was the #1 show on Disney Plus. But I don't know if you all have noticed, there's no Percy Jackson merch in any store anywhere because nobody really cares. It's #1 by default because nobody's watching any of the other original content.
#1 original.
Yeah, original. Bluey beats everything because Disney lucked into having Bluey, but they don't own it. So Daredevil, that one we'll see. Okay, so there's one show that has a chance. You're saying it has a chance. Keep going down. And then Andor Season 2. Andor was a complete and total failure for ratings. And Season 2, why would I think it'll do anything more? All right. There's leg #1 of the failure. There's 3 legs to this. Leg 1 is Disney Plus. We'll come back to it in just a moment. Talking about movies, though. Here's what we've got for movies this year. Un-America. Captain Un-American. Not So Brave New World. That's coming out first. Then we've got Snow White. That'll do well. The Amateur. That's apropos for what we're covering. Thunderdolts. They'll get a win finally with Lilo and Stitch. Then they get Elio. I don't know what Elio's going to do. I don't think it's going to be great. We got the Fantastic Four with the Silver Surfette, and yep, I don't think that's going to go well for them. We'll see. Freakier Friday, nope. Tron Ares, nope.
Maybe.
Nah, Tron's a waning property. Predator could do okay for its budget. And then they get into some wins. They got Zootopia 2, and then they'll get Avatar. Although I kind of worry about Avatar. I think audiences, that long delay between the first Avatar and the second may have helped the second Avatar get a win. This time, I'm not so sure. And then we've been talking about Disney World. That's their biggest thing. You could practically call Disney a theme park company. Everything else is secondary or tertiary. Disney World is in a major problem right now with Epic Universe getting ready to open. And we're going to talk about how badly Disney World is doing in 2025. When I look across, though, this gamut, and I say, Disney Plus they've been outed now in the mainstream media, the legacy media, right? Disney Plus, people are talking about how bad 2024 was for ratings. 25 is worse. 25 is worse. Okay. The box office, it could be a very hard time. Disney might only have one win at the box office all the way until November. And then you've got the Disney World issue. Those are 3 places that'll be very public for Bob Iger to lose in his last full year of tenure at Disney. Panel, am I crazy, or is there a real shot that this is the year where people begin to question Bob and say, this thing's falling apart?
It looks like it's falling apart when you take the ferry boat into the Magic Kingdom right now. I was there yesterday, and on the ferry boat, here's the weird thing. You going in, and you have the iconic Cinderella's castle. Your eyes should be drawn to that when you're on the ferry boat, but they are not, because there is a crane 3 times the height of that castle over to the left, and you're like, what on earth is that? I was trying to joke around with the cast member about, what did they put, a bungee cord, a bungee drop, bungee jump attraction in there. It might go over better than what they're planning on putting in, but it's at Walt Disney World itself. You love everything that they did in the past, and you're like, what? Just don't stop. You're ruining it. Just don't ruin it, please.
They're intentionally, this is what is crazy, and this is what the average person doesn't understand. They're intentionally ruining Disney World. And the reason that they're intentionally ruining it is because they make money now if you buy Genie Plus. Now, how do they get you to buy Genie Plus? If the lines are long, well, how do they get the lines to be long when attendance is falling? You reduce the number of attractions, or you reduce the number of hours that the attraction is available. So they are literally, purposefully, in my opinion, reducing the value of the parks to force those who are going, as this spiral happens, to force them to buy this extra add-on, because there's no crowd. You've got to reduce the attractions. But when we look at Disney Plus and the box office this year, like, this is a trifecta of doom. Now, people have said before, well, Pro, you always predict that Disney's going to go down, and it's like, no, we don't. But this year, there's a healthy chance that this company is called out for its unhealthiness. Like, I don't know if it's 25%, I don't know if it's 1/3, but like, there's a real shot that this company faces major headwinds. Part of that could also come from the government, right? Because Disney, it seems to me, is one of 2 major companies that I see embracing the resistance to the Orange Man bad, right? Correct. Microsoft is one, Disney's the other. So Mark, do you look at this and say, well, Disney's just too big to fail? Or do you think that there's is the public turning against the House of Mouse maybe?
Well, I think a lot of the public already has. We've talked about they're in a place that's not a good place to be if you're trying to grow a company, be a product for all of America. They aren't. They are not a product for all of America. I'd step back and put my MBA and like former corporate hat on and say that first and foremost, one of the reasons I think they failed is because value was always part of their product, and it isn't anymore. And value doesn't necessarily mean they're the cheapest. It means that you get good quality for a reasonable price that you're willing to pay. I don't think that's true of their parks anymore. There's a bunch of reasons why. I'm very fond of a word that I hope doesn't trigger the YouTube out, called globo homo. And before anybody jumps to conclusions, the homo comes from homogenization. And it's this idea that like more and more the massive corporates are getting like untouchable. They just grow, they get stronger, they continue to grow. And there's a lot of reasons. I think Bernanke bucks getting pumped into the market to inflate the stock market. Like, this even touches to the person who can barely afford to buy a house here. Concentration of the wealth at the top. And for 20 years or so, bad consequences have been decoupled from financial performance. And that's one of the reasons that woke happened. It's like you could do whatever and your stock's going to go up. And I think if you look at the stock market in the last decade or so, it tracks very closely with the increased size of government debt. I think the housing market probably is pretty highly correlated as well. And so it's been an economy that rewards asset holders, and there just are less and less of them. And what we might see under Trump, that, listen, if Disney goes down, like probably a lot of other companies will too. And I think it will be maybe as an offshoot of some kind of economic reorganization that has to happen. Like it has to happen. And I don't know what that looks like, but I can tell you deporting 1 million illegal aliens is deflationary. So there alone could be one thing, right? Like what happens all of a sudden, people have so much liquid equity in their homes, and all of a sudden you get a consumer crunch and people can't afford to spend $1 billion going to Disney. So we haven't seen how this Disney weathers an economic downturn.
Let me play this out, and then Vash, get your thoughts on it. Let's just say that Epic Universe has a significant impact on the market share of Walt Disney World. Well, Walt Disney World generates something like 1/3 of all of Disney's profits. Okay, so if you start to eat into that market share, that's the sort of thing that will get investors really, really noticing what's going on finally. And then you add to this, the box office and Disney Plus now being publicly shunned by audience members. And I think this could be the time when Bob Iger really goes out there and the sway and the cachet is gone.
Absolutely. And that's the thing. I mean, so if you have an American consumer that has less disposable income than maybe they've had before, and so their once in a lifetime trip to Orlando, the theme park destination of the world, is limited in both funds, resources, and time, where might you spend that money? Might you spend it on a Walt Disney World that really is largely the same as it has been for 20 years, maybe even worse, especially with Magic Kingdom setting up all these construction walls and so forth and getting rid of your favorite attractions? Or are you going to go to see the next big thing, which is going to be Epic Universe? And Moffat Nathanson is already predicting that there's going to be 1 million people that are going to be cannibalized that would have otherwise gone to Walt Disney World that are going to Epic Universe instead. This is where you get this Fortune magazine article. Disney World is unaffordable for average American families. Has Disney become a luxury experience? In this same article, it actually says that that Universal is the better value when it comes to these things, as Mark brilliantly pointed out. And when it comes to the entertainment front, well, it doesn't get much better. So Rasmussen actually has done a number of great surveys on this in the past, and thank you. That's why I'm so ecstatic about Mark actually being here, because back in May 6th of 2024, Rasmussen ran this poll. 71% want Disney to return to family-friendly entertainment, which I believe they did, especially with like Inside Out 2 and so forth. We've seen that Pixar and a couple of other studios are kind of paring some of this stuff back. But then you have this recent poll, January 9th, 2025, 47% say Disney has gotten worse, at least when it comes to the entertainment that they produce. So I think for a lot of people, especially with less disposable income than maybe they had before, where are you going to put your dollars? Are you going to put it on Elio or Drawn, to your point, Pro? Or are you going to put it on other franchises from other studios that might have better quality attached to them? Now, I think Avatar will actually benefit from the fact that it's a little bit removed from the Disney brand, because I think we are seeing an overall brand withdrawal as the quality goes down, and especially from the park side as the value goes down as well, reflected here in this article from Caroline Reed.
So let's give Jonas a very unwanted task. Jonas, let me have you play Mickey Advocate. So many times we have said something to the effect of, Disney's going to get it this time. This is the big one. Disney's never going to make it. And when we say that, we're not telling people that Disney's going to go bankrupt, but we're saying this could be a very difficult year for the House of Mouse. Jonas, give me some defense. Like, tell me why I'm wrong. Where are they going to find some big wins that really help Bob Iger? Is it the NBA ratings? Is that going to lift ESPN? Are they going to finally get gambling straight into Disney Plus? What's going to do it?
Essentially, that's the only thing they have at this point, is anything that would happen to them in cable and media networks, or if they somehow get a big win in streaming, which is not going to come from Disney Plus. No one watches Disney Plus, and I'm glad for Luminate to catch up with my analysis here. If I can toot my own horn here, I've been shouting that one for years. I think the only wins that they have ahead of them right now are if they get a new CEO, then maybe in a couple of years, that CEO can do something big. If they get their heads on straight and start selling off some of these Fox assets that they purchased for way more than they were worth, maybe they can get some money that way. Nothing at the box office I'm seeing right now is going to perform that well. Maybe Fantastic Four. I hear Thunderbolts is going to be better than we're expecting, but probably still only going to be marketable to a niche audience. But even if the movies do fantastic, we're talking about a few paltry $1 billion that then get cut up and sent to the theaters and the international distributors here. So I don't see any big cash moves here for the Walt Disney Company. They are in a rebuilding phase under people that I don't have faith are capable of running that rebuilding phase correctly. So I'm even trying to think of things that they can unload that they could lose without losing a lot of capital here. There's nothing that they've got. The best thing they could do is get rid of Iger and get rid of the people who are supposedly going to be replacing Iger, and just start from scratch. Really, I mean this. This is a company that needs to be seen as starting from scratch. And as long as they're not willing to accept that they made some mistakes and publicly tell people that they made some mistakes, it's not going to happen.
It seems to me that every year has been an effort to get Iger that one more year. Throw everything you've got at it, do whatever it takes, hide the flaws. And I feel like I think the engine's run out of steam now. And so I think this could be the year where we finally see the reality reach the masses. We'll see how it goes, folks. And folks, we have come to the end yet again. Another video of excellence in the can. What a joy it has been to share time with you. We hope you enjoyed it as well. If so, consider clicking that like button, share, subscribe, click it, stick it to the algorithms. It is the notification bell. And as always, drop a comment down below. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, so waste not yours. Join a community dialogue today, just on down below. Folks, we are going to say farewell for now, but we will see you back. 4 is more, and that's how many videos we put out every single day here on the Pro Channel. Hope you enjoy them all. Until the next time, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.
Jump into the water. Why listen to music made by people and companies who really don't like you? Check out Vacation Radio today and prepare for all new content made by the people behind the WDW Pro Channel. It's the place you need for all the music. That should be fun. Hundreds of songs, every genre you can imagine. Listen live on YouTube and enjoy a set list that's always sunny. It's Vacation Radio. What are you waiting for? Every WDW Pro video has a link to Vacation Radio in the video description. Try it out and subscribe today.